Coach, obviously you wanted to come back with maybe a bit of better result in the road trip, but overall, what did you see from your team on the road?
Well, the first game we won the game. We played. I thought we played a real good, solid game. That was Rockford is really different in the way they play. They stretch one or two guys at all time, and they interchange. And if you play it right, you're going to create some chances for. But you need to play it right defensively, because if you open up just a little bit, there are a lot of east-west plays in the offensive zone, so you have to cover the back door in our D zone, and on the forecheck, as soon as their D is touching the puck, they're flying, and with a good forecheck, you can create turnovers, and then you have a scoring chance for. So we had to play it right. Physical game. It was quite physical, that game, and so we spent quite a bit of energy in that game. Won the game. Real good job to come back in the third period. JC Lipon was outstanding that game, but we had a few players that played really well. And then the second game, just I don't know, 6 minutes in the second period where we kind of lost track of what we needed to do in order to stay in that game, and we didn't. And that was our meeting this morning, making sure we stay in control of what we can control, and then keep working hard and keep sticking to the plan. Our first period all year have been really good. Our second period are not as good as the first, so we need to fix that second period. But it's not the whole period, or it's not the whole game. It's a 5, 6, 7 minutes where things happen, and it seems like it takes us too long to realize what needs to be done in order to stop the momentum or get it back. So, one game out of two, play 500. Not great, not bad, average, I would say. A lot of good things and a few things we can do better.
So you don't want to hit a panic button, but you know where you guys are in terms of the standings, and everybody on this team knows that playoffs is the goal.
Yeah.
So knowing how critical this homestand is, you got 6 games at home, 2 against Chicago, big rival. Do you have to put any more level of importance on these games, or does the team kind of know where they're at, and you just say, listen, we got to take it one game at a time?
No, we want to see our team under pressure. We want to see how our people will react when the game and every single games are on the line. We can, if you come to the games, you can evaluate the player on the ice. We want to evaluate the players on the ice, but we want to evaluate them. How do they react under pressure? And if they don't react well, we need to know now so we can help them get better at it. Is it that you're putting too much pressure on yourself? Is it that you don't see the urgency? But we need to find out about our people. And yes, right now it's playoff time, and we need to play with a lot of urgency. We need to play hard, and we can't waste 10 seconds of any games. We have to play sharp and play aggressive and stick to our plan in control with some discipline, obviously. But yes, no, panicking is never the solution, and we're not in that mode. I don't think we'll ever be in that organization, but we're in the solution finding situation, and then we're pushing the pace. Every game we're going to focus on that game, and we're going to do everything we can to win those games.
One player you got back in the lineup who was injured was Logan Stanley. What did you see from him?
It took a few shifts before he got back to game shape. It's going to take some time because he missed a little bit of time here. But his puck management on the breakouts were fine. He blocked a few shots. He's trying to be more physical. So what he needs to work on, he's working on those things, and it's going to take time. As far as the best Logan Stanley, we're not gonna. He's doing his best, but there's another level that will come, and I think it's a matter of time. It's just we need to put him on the ice over and over, and he knows we have confidence in him. He knows that we see the potential, the kind of defenseman he can become. Our goal is not to develop him so he becomes a power play guy in the American League. We're trying to develop him so he becomes the best defenseman he can be for the Winnipeg Jets. And so there's a few things we're working on. It's not flashy. Maybe people don't really necessarily realize what we're working on, but there's a plan there for him, and he's working on those few simple things.
One thing we saw with Logan Stanley last year in his first pro season, and now we're seeing it with Leon Gavanke and Jonathan Kovacevic, is the opportunity they're getting. And originally when you were doing it, you're doing it with more of a rotation with those guys and Luke Green. Those guys now are almost everyday defensemen. So what have you seen from those two in their first year at this point?
Well, that's the beauty of the American League. We had Green, Covey, and Leon in a three-man rotation, but that's early in the season, perfect world. There's no injuries. We had a few things going on, so when everybody was healthy, so we had that rotation. But our reality is that's not going to stay like this. So we knew at some point it was just a matter of getting them prepared for what was coming. We don't know when it's coming, but we know at some point it's going to come. And now you take a guy like Leon, who was in a three-man rotation. Now he's on the top power play, and he's playing against the top line or second line. And that's why we exist. That's our goal with the American League. You want to win games. We want to put them in a winning environment where we can evaluate them, give them the tools physically and mentally to get better and become the best player they can become, but also to give them an opportunity to play in different situations. And sometimes they're not necessarily ready to play against the top line, but that mileage over time will make a difference. I remember my first year with the Moose, we had the young Jack Rosovic and those guys, and they were playing in positions they weren't necessarily ready, but we could see the benefit the second year, and then the third year he made it to the Jets. So these moments are crucial for our young players' development, especially our defense. We have a real young D-core. And second-year pro, Logan Stanley is still a very young defenseman. So it's these moments in the season are crucial for those guys and their development.